sentence incorporating the general purpose, the specific audience for the speech, and a propositional phrase that summarizes the topic. So that's what we call as a totality of a speech, yeah, whereby the sentence incorporating the general purpose, the introduction, the specific audience for the speech, the audience that are listening to your speech, and also the propositional phrase that summarizes the topic, which is the conclusion, yeah. So these are the three main important things. So this is the three examples, okay, which is to inform a group of school administrators about the various open source software packages. Okay, so this is just an example, yeah, which is the purpose on what is the purpose to accordingly to each type of speech. So to inform, to persuade, or to entertain, yeah. So in each of these three examples, that the general topic is the same, which is open source software. So if you can see under the example, all three is the main topic is regarding the open source software, but all three under a different type of speeches. So each purpose will be a bit different. Okay, so to inform a group of school administrators, so to persuade a group of college students to make the switch, or either to entertain members of a business organization with a mock eulogy for a 4-page software giants. Okay, so this is what we call as a different types of topic, different types of speeches under the same topic, using the same topic. Okay, so let's see who is joining us. Okay, Nura Afifa. Okay, thank you for joining us, Afifa. Okay, so the speech has a different general purpose and a different audience. So it means that each type of speeches will have a different kind of purpose and also a different kind of audiences that will listen to the speech. But all alongside everything, the topic can stay the same. So it means that if you're using the same topic, you can create basically by organizing the body of your speech. You need to know what your specific purpose is. So if you know the purpose of your speech, so it means that it is much more easier for you to create the entirety of your speech. So it means that to create the introduction, the main paragraphs, the main points, and also the conclusion. Yeah. And then the third one, from specific purpose to main points. So if you already know the specific purpose, which is to describe them, which is under the descriptive speech. So if you already know how to describe, to create a describe set speeches, so you can start thinking about the best way to turn the specific purpose into a series of main points. So it is the key ideas you present to enable your speech to accomplish the purpose. So in this section, we're going to discuss, yeah. Okay, how many main points do I need? Okay, so there's no for how many. Okay, so speech experts generally agree that the fewer the number of main points, the better. So it means that if you can actually elaborate on fewer main points, so it means that if you can use 3 main points, and if you can elaborate on each point specifically, so it means that there won't be any need for you to create any other extra main points. Yeah? So the 3 is already enough. But okay, so so let's say that using the reference, yeah, whereby the subject of memory have consistently shown that people don't tend to remember very much after they listen to a message or leave a conversation. So it means that the more points that you provide in a speech, the lesser the audience will actually remember what you are saying after the speech already ended. So in order for you to leave an impact and make sure that the audience remember what you are providing in your speech, to remember the main points that you're providing, so the lesser it would be much more better, because it is much more easier for the audience to remember it. Yeah. So and also many different factors can affect a listener's ability to retain information after a speech. So how the speech is organized is an important part of the process. So this is what we already discussed the earlier part of our chapter just now. So the much more organized the speech is, the far more easier for the audience to remember it afterwards. Yeah. Okay. So for the speeches, you will usually have just 2 or 3 main points. Okay, so if it's 3 minutes long, so it is best for you to have at least three main points. So one main points you can elaborate for 1 minute, yeah. So you can explain the main points and then provide elaboration, provide an actual facts or actual examples, and then elaborate on that evidence, yeah. So that is what you can easily manage to get 1 point, one main points within 1 minute. So it means that including with the conclusion and also the introduction, you can just finish the 3 minutes easily. Yeah. So why they are recommending only 2 or 3 points? The reason, okay, so this what we don't need regarding this. Yeah. Okay, so narrowing down your main points. So when you already come up with a few main points, which one that you have to choose to use. Yeah. So when you already write down your specific purpose and review the research you have done on the topic. Okay, so you already have you will be having quite a few points that you like to make in your speech. So taking a few minutes to brainstorm. So that's why we will give you 2 minutes to actually brainstorm after you provided with the topic for the one next assessment, right? So we will give you I will give you 2 minutes to elaborate and also to properly organize your main points. Which one that you would use first? Yeah. So for you to develop a list of points. Okay. So during the brainstorming, your goal is simply to think of as many different points as you can. Okay, and but not to judge how valuable or important they are. So you just have to make sure that you have as many different points as you can, and then you can choose only three from there. Yeah. So okay, so this is just an example. Later you can read on your own free time, whereby you're using the specific purpose of what is the type of your speeches, and then you can brainstorm the list of points. Yeah. And then once you already brainstorm and develop a list of possible points, so you can narrow them down to three main points. So the main points are the key ideas that help build your speech. So your goal is now to narrow down your main points to identify which individual potentially minor points can be combined to make main points. So it means that once you already listed a few numbers of main points, please make sure that you narrow it down to at least a minimum of three main points. So if you can see one or two from the list is actually almost identical or either correlate to each main points that you already listed out as one main points only. So it means that you can we consider that as a minor points. Yeah? So you can combine to make one main point. So it is called as chunking. Okay, so taking smaller chunks of information and putting them together to create more fully developed chunks of information. Okay, so setting the specific purpose to inform a group of school administrators. Okay, so this is the informative speech to inform. Okay, define educational software and then list and describe the software and then explain the advantages of using open source software. So the brainstorming list of points you can use explain the disadvantages of using. Okay, so you can use the disadvantages, review the history. Okay, so this is one by one. Yeah, this so let's say that the topic is define and open source software. Okay, so you review the history of software. Yeah. Okay. So let's say that the specific purpose is to inform a group of school administrators about the various open source software. Okay, so the main point can be narrowed down to school district use software in the operation. So define educational software. This describe the software commonly used by school districts. Okay, so this from there you can elaborate more. Yeah, and then you can use the second you define what it is, review the history, explain the advantage. Okay, describe the value, explain the disadvantages. Okay, describe the problems, and then the third main point would be you have to give the specific open source software packages that may be appropriate. Okay, so review the software and then describe some educational open source software. Okay, so